Imagine if you had all your ducks in a row. You knew exactly what to do, when to leave your teaching profession and launch that new business. Start that school. Begin your micro school. Start your learning pod. What if you had all of the clarity? You knew what to do, when to do it, how to do it, who to get help from. What do you need in order to feel confident, prepared, and ready to leave where you're at and launch the new thing? Today, I'm going to share with you 5 questions that will help you know that you're moving in the right direction and that you're ready. Because I know you're wondering, where do I start? Am I ready for this? Is it the right time? Can I tell my principal that I'm ready to go? I know you are a teacher. So am I. You're a mom. You're a dad. You're a parent. You got a lot of responsibilities. You need a plan. I know that I wish I would have known what I was supposed to know. That's a lot of no's. Okay, so listen, I know you're also afraid that if you make a mistake, you jump out, you could sink, you could fail, you could ask yourself, is this not the right time? People are going to make fun of me. Am I going to embarrass myself? But listen, in today's podcast and throughout many, many of my coaching sessions, every single one of them actually, we ask ourselves some very important questions. We get down to the nitty-gritty. And today I'm going to share with you 5 questions. And these aren't all of the questions you need to ask yourself by any means as you go through the process of building a school, but it's at least 5 good questions for right now. Just right now, as you're driving in your car, as you're doing the dishes, as you're taking your walk, as you're petting your dog, putting on your makeup. 5 questions to ask yourself to get you jump-started, to get you reflecting, to get you excited, to get you more crystal clear on areas that you can either 1, work on, 2, strengthen yourself, or 3, celebrate that you've already got it and you really are ready to go. You're ready to leave. You're ready to launch. 5 questions to ask yourself. Get your notebook. Get your pen. This is going to be a good one.
Welcome, teacher, to the Let Your Light Shine podcast. If you're searching for the freedom and permission to design the life you love as a teacher, you're in the right place. I'm on a mission to help teachers just like you build their own dream school or homeschooling business. In this present day, the world needs you, teacher friend, to step out in faith and give students an education they love and so deserve. In this podcast, I will teach you how to start a fulfilling and profitable homeschooling business that lights you up. I'm Mackenzie Oliver, former elementary teacher and instructional coach, gone homeschool teacher and business builder. I'm here to empower you to step outside the classroom and choose the experiences, the curriculum, and all the moments that put a smile on your face and your students. Does it seem like a dream? Well, it did to me, until God opened the doors and made it reality. Together, we are breaking through fears and moving the crowd. So get out your notebook, sharpen your pencil. It's time to get your teach on.
You know that feeling you get when you see a child read, you've been working with them, your own child or another child, you've been working with them and you see that they're catching on to reading. You know how proud that makes you feel? It feels so good, right? That just happened to me in our school today, earlier today, in my little small group, reading group. They're so cute. They're so cute. They're kindergartners. They're adorable. We have 18 students, 3 of which are kindergartners, and they're just the light of the world, okay? And one of them, we've been practicing reading, of course, every day, but now they've got their little leveled readers and they're reading their books, and it's just so fun because it's like, oh my gosh, you did it. It's awesome. And I want to share that with you because it's so incredible to be able to have your own school, to have your own business, and not to glorify yourself, but to be able to watch it, to be a part of it, to create it, to celebrate. It's just such a beautiful moment. And I wanted to share that with you. And it's just like when I get to work with you and the other teachers and the other parents that I get to work with. When you come to me, I sit across so many people when they first hop on the Zoom call, they're like, hi, like they're a little bit excited, but they're like, oh my gosh, they just are wondering. They've got the weight of the world on them. Where do I begin? Can I even do this? I've got so much doubt. And then they walk away. They're like, oh my gosh, okay, boom, ready to go. And then I get messages, inboxes. I see things on Facebook that they're doing. And I'm like, praise God. This is so awesome. It is so awesome. It goes to show that we need each other. We need you, just like the little girl watching her read. She needed me. She needed her peers to help her through. We need each other. I need you. You need me. We all need one another. And I'm just so grateful for you. I'm grateful for the emails that I get from you, the instant messages. I'm thankful for all of you that have went through and have gotten the business bundle, have put it into action. I'm grateful for the people that I've had the opportunity, the blessing to coach, to watch you build your school. You are so important to me, and I love you. And for all of you that are out there and you want somebody to do that with you, to help you get a breakthrough, I'm right here with you. You can start by just emailing me your questions, emailing how we can get started working with one another, or just reach out and tell me your story. I would love to hear from you. You can email me at teacherletyourlightshine@gmail.com. So here are some really good questions to ask yourself as you go through the process of wondering, am I ready or not? And as a matter of fact, a fun little story is that my husband and I went kayaking, and I immediately knew after this moment that I had to share this with you, because we went kayaking and it's kind of a not typical thing that you see, but my husband is on the we weren't kayaking, we were paddleboarding. We were paddleboarding, and he stands up in the back and he paddles all the way up the river. So he's going against the current. It's a real windy day. And I sat at the front of the paddleboard, and I read and I write and I make notes and I make things about the podcast, and I do things for Teacher Let Your Light Shine. And I talk to him because he is very much involved with Teacher Let Your Light Shine. So he paddles up the river. We get to the end, and we always dock for a second, get up, stretch. Takes us about an hour. And I stood up, this was last week, I stood up on the paddleboard, and as I stood up, both feet on the paddleboard, my husband was like, no, honey, don't do that. Put one foot on the ground and keep one foot on the paddleboard. And he said, steady yourself, ground yourself, okay? Ground yourself. He said, you're up there on the paddleboard shaking and possibly going to fall. All you got to do is step onto solid ground, get your bearings, and then put your other foot up. And I was like, yeah, got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm giving you this as an analogy for what we're going to talk about today. Instead of standing on the paddleboard going, oh, hold my hand, let's just put one foot on solid ground while keeping your other foot where it needs to be. And then once you get your foot on solid ground, the other foot can come. And so I believe these questions will help you get your foot onto solid ground. Now, if you've never downloaded our roadmap, you definitely got to go do that. Go to www.teachersletyourlightshine.com/roadmap. When you download it, it's going to go to your email. Make sure you check your junk folder though, okay? This is a really pretty visual. The 8 steps of building your micro school, homeschooling business, your learning about your tutoring business. You got it. It's right there. You download it. Once you download it, it's going to go to your email. Check your junk. But this is a very good start. This is a part of step 1, and this is about clarifying. Clarifying your model, clarifying your business, clarifying your vision and where you are going. So these first 5 questions, they're not all a part of step 1, but they are definite ones that you can think about just for now, just over the next week. Think about these 5 questions. Number 1, your numbers. Do you know your numbers? So you're going to write down on number 1. Do I know my numbers? Do I know how much I need to make? Do I know how much I have to make? Do I know how much I want to make? Do I know my stretch goal? Do I know my goal? What is the bare minimum of how much money I need to make? Do you want to work full-time? Do you want to work part-time? What's your starting goal? What's your ending goal? Numbers don't lie. So my husband and I, we were having this conversation, as a matter of fact, on that same paddleboarding excursion we were on. We were sitting here going through, because I was writing notes out for this podcast. And he was like, absolutely, number 1, your numbers. And this is what we go through with our coaching clients, is our numbers. My husband is actually going to start being in on our coaching calls and helping us through this, because I do believe that he has so much knowledge and he's helped our school get to where we are. I want him to meet you. I want him, he loves it. He's in our Facebook group and every night he's like, honey, look what this person wrote. And he's like, oh my gosh, look at this lady's flyer, honey. Or, oh my gosh, look at what's going on for these summer camps. He's so into it. So I'm like, how about you just come and be on these coaching calls with me, because you really have helped me nail down so many details. So that's in the making. He's going to be in our coaching sessions. If you are wanting to book a coaching session here in the near future, you can even put it on the request. You'll get a questionnaire whenever you sign up for coaching. There's going to be several questions that we ask you to help us get to know you before we actually sit down and work on a plan for you. You can also request, I'd love to have your husband there, and we will definitely make sure, because we are working on getting him more freed up so that he can help us on our coaching calls. But nonetheless, every time you fill out a questionnaire, I go over it with him and we start brainstorming before I actually meet across Zoom with you. But it's your numbers. Number one, do you know your numbers? Have you gotten out a calculator? Have you done some chicken scratch on paper? Do you have any clarity over how much fixed expenses you have? How much, and I'm not going to go into, all that we need to look at for numbers, but do you have a sense? Because I can tell you, and there's no shame, but I can tell you that sometimes we become so overwhelmed, so confused, so bogged down with the minutia of decision making that we don't even know how much we need to make in order to make it sustainable, or in order to survive or prepare, or provide for our family. So some people say, I don't really need to make an income. I've worked with teachers who said, my husband, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I mean, if I make $20,000, great. I have some teachers that I work with, they're like, I need to make 40. Some teachers say, I need to make 70. Some say, I want to make 70, but if I make 50, I'm okay. But if I can make 90, that'd be amazing. Okay? Now, I can tell you, though, that most people that I work with do not have that clarity when they first sit down. So if that's something that you could at least start working on, that would really help you. You may still need more help, but at least that's a question that you could start on right now. Number two, do you have any potential people that would utilize your services that you know of? Has anybody expressed interest? And if you go, no, then I'm going to say to you, that's where you need to get started. Have you told anybody what you need to tell them? My mother-in-law, right after that paddleboarding trip, she said, Mackenzie, I see so many people who get miracles. She talks to me about this all the time. She said, they get miracles because they opened their mouth and they started telling people. God uses words and God uses people. Think about that. God uses words. God uses people. He will use your words and he will use people to help you to get to where you're going. So if you're telling me I don't have anyone who's interested and I don't have any potential clientele, then not my first, but I would say one of the very first things that we need to tackle is your marketing. Really, friends, 3 months is a very quick turnaround, but I will say it is possible for people to know you, like you, trust you. People will sometimes watch you for 6 months, up to a year, 2 years, even 3 years before they ever do business with you. So the question is, do you have potentials? Are people interested? This would go with marketing. Number 3, very important. Am I willing to accept my timeline? Because here's the thing. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a really nice walk in the park, if you ask me. You can make this business exactly the way you want it to be. You can make it where you want it to be, how you want it to be, how much you want it to be, who you want it to be for. We all have to go through accepting our timeline, because we cannot just snap our fingers and here we are in our world of everything's laid out by tomorrow or next week. This is going to take time. So sometimes I will work with people and say, I believe we can get this up and going within the next 6 months. I believe we can get this up and going in 9 months. Here's what you need to do until then. I believe we need to wait for next year. Here's what you can be doing until then. So accepting your timeline. Are you going to be okay to accept your timeline to whenever somebody says, no, not yet, or wait just a little bit, or yes, it's time to go? Are you going to be able to do all 3 of those? Number 4, am I ready to network? Are you ready to be on social media? Now, I'm not saying be a slave to social media, but are you ready to make your Facebook page? Are you ready to get yourself out? Are you ready to tell people through social media? Are you ready to be looking for events in your area and to set up a booth, or to go even meet with people, or to go educate yourself? Maybe you're not setting up a booth. Maybe you're going somewhere. I just went to National School Choice Week. It was an amazing event. Not only for me to set up my booth for our school, but for me to network with other people and to meet other families. So are you ready to get yourself out in the community? Are you ready to know what's going on around you? Are you ready to plug in? Because you're not going to get the energy that you need in order to start this business without first plugging in. So you may go, oh, I'm not confident yet. Trust me, I know. I've been there before and I still get there. So you don't have to be upset with yourself. There's no shame, but just know that networking is critical. Number 5, this pertains to your content, your vision, your mission, your target market, your schools, your business bundle. And that's this. Are you ready to share your message? Are you ready? Do you know your vision? Maybe you don't have it written down as this formal statement. That's okay. What mission are you on? What do you want to accomplish? And are you ready to share it? Do you know who your target market is? Do you know the people that you want to serve, the kids that you want to serve, the families that you want to serve, their demographics? Do you know that information? Do you know the schools in your area and what they offer and how you can do it better? Have you gotten your business bundle? Do you have the documents that you need in order to get your business started, up, going, and legal? Are you ready for that? It has all your content in it, all of your explanations of how you run your school, of how you keep it safe, your liabilities, your handbook, your contract, your schedules. Do you have it all ready? Because once you take your ideas and you get it on paper, you are ready to share it with the world, but you got to have a clear message. You have to. And having a clear message takes time. It takes processing. It takes working. It takes reflecting. It takes writing things down, scratching them out, writing them again, bubble maps, whatever it takes. But it's going to take effort. So let me go through these 5 again. Number 1, do I know my numbers? Number 2, do I have potential people? Do I have people interested? Number 3, am I ready to accept my timeline? Number 4, am I ready to network? And number 5, do I have a clear message? I'm ready to work with you. You can book a session at www.teachersletyourlightshine.com/coaching. I'm so ready to dig into all of this and so much more to get your numbers, to get you a plan, and to get you moving in the right direction. And also, if you're ready for your business bundle, even if you're not ready, you got to get ready there. Sister, teacher, friend, go to www.teachersletyourlightshine.com/shop. And of course, ask me any question. If you're on the fence about any of it, if you want to know how we work together, if you want to know about the business bundle, just email me and I can help you through it. It'd be my joy. All right. I'll see you guys in our Facebook group at Teachers Let Your Light Shine Micro School Community. And until next time, just keep shining.
Hey, teacher friend. Thanks so much for listening to today's show. I pray it inspired you, touched you, or challenged you in some way, because we are making big shifts and using our teaching gifts for God's glory like never before. I'm so grateful for you. The number 1 way you can support this show is to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts and also share this with another teacher. Come join me in the Virtual Teachers Lounge, known as the Teacher Let Your Light Shine Facebook group. Until next time, keep shining your teacher light. The world needs you.